Hey guys, welcome back to the Crochet with Kelsey channel. In this video today, I am going to be doing a market and recapping what happened, how much money I made, and more. So the market that I'm doing today is the Underground Market in Lower Greenville. I'm super excited. I've never done this market before, but I've had my eye on it for a while. So I'm hoping that it's going to be a good day. The market is from 11 to 5, so we're going to get there around 10 to set up, and I'm super excited to see what the day holds. So it has been a couple of days since the market, and I want to start off by saying that the market location I think was really great. And the setup was probably one of the easiest setups that I've ever done. We were able to park on the street, and then the market was on the same street, and they actually like block off the whole road so that it's really easy to load in and load out. So I really liked that. The other thing that I noticed about this market was that it seems like it has a lot of vendors that consistently do it. It seemed like all of the vendors kind of knew each other, which I think is really great. I think it's awesome that they have built a community around this market, and everyone that I talked to was very friendly. The market coordinator was also very friendly. It was very easy to communicate with her, so I definitely appreciated that as well. So let's get into how the market actually went. So I know I usually kind of pop in and give little updates throughout the day, but it was just so quiet on the street. Like there was no music playing or anything. So I felt really like awkward just like, pulling up my camera and doing a vlog. So that's why I didn't have really any little updates throughout the day. But that's okay because I'm going to talk to you about everything now. So we set up and we had everything set up by 11 o'clock, and it was a scorcher. I believe it was 99 degrees for a good majority of the day. That's just Texas summers for you, but it was extremely hot. It was also the day of the championship of the World Cup. So whenever I, signed up for this market, I obviously wasn't really thinking about that. I didn't think it would affect the market too much, but let me tell you, it did. So there were a ton of people in the area, but they were mostly going to like restaurants and bars kind of to watch the game. And the game ended like right around 4:30 and the market ended at 5. So there wasn't really a lot of time for people to like come shop afterwards. I think if the market would have ran another hour, it could have been great. But yeah, everyone was just busy watching the World Cup. Even the vendors were watching it. So like, I get it, it's a big deal, but it definitely affected the turnout of the event. So I probably didn't have my first sale until about 1 o'clock. So that was like 2 hours of just kind of sitting there without, any customers or any sales. I feel like barely anyone came into my booth. And a lot of the people that did were just like, oh, everything's so cute or whatever, and they weren't really interested in buying anything. It was a little bit disheartening because my first sale was a claw machine item, which is like $5, and I paid $95 to be there. So I was like, I know this isn't an ideal day, like it's extremely hot outside, people are watching the World Cup, but at the same time, like it just was kind of sad not to see a lot of people out and a lot of people buying crochet, but that's okay. So I'm going to get into the items that I sold, and then I will discuss if I think that this is a market that I will try again. So like I said, my very first sale about 2 hours into the market was a claw machine item, and that was actually from another vendor. So it was the vendor that was right across from me. They were selling clothes, and he was like, oh, I've been looking at this all day and I'm just gonna play. So I was really happy for his support. It definitely lifted my spirits a little bit to finally get a sale whenever you've been there for a while. I also want to say we spent like $38 on like lunch and drinks, so it's like, okay, we're already like kind of down. We did a pickup order from this bagel place, and Nick got a Wagyu bagel that was like $18, so I was like, okay, that's coming out of the funds for today. But he said it was really good, and that was just our lunch, and that's a price that people pay for lunch. But I just had a regular bagel, and I'm so glad I ate in the morning because it got so hot that my appetite was completely gone. So after that, the first like sale I had from a real customer that wasn't a vendor was my little matcha. And if you watch my market prep video from last week, I know I was kind of saying like, I don't know if these are good or not, but she immediately recognized that it was matcha, and that made me so happy. So I'm really glad that it sold. And then my next sale of the day, I was so happy to sell a larger item. So I sold my Daisy the Dream Sprite, and although it's not a larger item, it was priced a little bit higher because it's made in the Feels Like a Dream yarn, which is like kind of a nightmare to work with. So I had it priced at $40, but this little girl really liked it and her mom bought it for her. So I'm very grateful for them for being my first big sale of the day. And also, like, as you probably saw in the video of my setup, like I just have so many larger items. Like I couldn't even put out all my plushies because I have so many larger items, and I just like really need them to go. I need them to get sold so that I can make more stuff. And since the market, I haven't actually crocheted at all, just because I'm like, I'm totally set for the next market. Like I don't even need to make anything additionally. And then after that, my sister came by, and she really was drawn to my Elo and the Healer pattern. So they're kind of priced higher. I think I had her priced at like $65, but she was like, I really like this one. And I was like, if you want to pay just like half price or whatever, I'm happy to give it to you. I'd like to see it on your bookshelf. I think, I'd rather, in a way, like I'd rather her have it than, someone that's gonna give it to their dog or whatever. Not that you should give crochet plushies to your dog, you absolutely should not, but you know what I mean. It's like, I know it'll be well cared for with her, and she like appreciates like the time it takes and everything. So she ended up paying me $40 for it. So I was happy to get something for it. I really would have just given it to her, but she was like, no, I need to pay. So she ended up getting Eloin, and she's gonna put it on her bookshelf. So I was really glad. I also let her take a couple of items from my bargain bin. So I used to call it the bargain bin. Now it has a sign on it that says like special market deals, so that it doesn't sound as like cheap, I guess. But it's just the plushies that I've had for so long. Like I've literally had some of these for like 2 or 3 years, and just like they can't find a home. So her boyfriend actually has a little niece, and I have like a bunch of snugglers in there. So I was like, take a couple of snugglers for her. And I just need to kind of get rid of some stuff. So I did give away 2 plushies, 2 snuggler plushies, but I also made $40 on the Eloin sale. So I don't know. It was also just really slow. So I was like, I need to at least try to make back my booth fee for today. And then after that, I had another sale from a vendor. Her business name was Ray's Treats, and she actually gave us a free cake at the end of the day, which was really nice. It was like a Cookie Monster cake, and it was really good. If you ever have gotten the Cookie Monster cookie at Great American Cookie, like the place that they have in the mall, that icing on it is so amazing. And it really reminded me of that, so that was very nice. But anyway, she bought a car mirror charm. of a little duck, so I am glad that I prepped some of those for this market. And then after that, I sold a little Eevee for $12. And this guy kept going back and forth. He's like, do I want the little Eevee or the big Eevee? And I'm like, I don't know, the big Eevee is pretty cool. And it also costs more money. But yeah, he ended up going with the smaller one, which is fine. Still happy for the sale. And at this point, I have made $127. And the day is coming to a close. So I'm like, you know, at least I made back the booth fee. I had an experience. I met some vendors, so like not a total loss. I just had 3 more sales after that. So I ended up selling 2 mystery boxes, and I sold one of my like little dinos from Dee Dee's Plushies pattern. So yeah, it wasn't like the best day, but also, you know, the World Cup was happening. So I really am not gonna let that change my mind about the market. And I also did a Sunday market. They also have this one on Saturday, so I think I'm actually going to try to do it again. I think, I literally already signed up. So I'm doing this one again on August 22nd, and I'm doing a Saturday, and it's gonna be a regular day, no World Cup games, hopefully nothing else like crazy is going on. But that area just has like a lot of people that are walking through. There's like bars and restaurants, so I think it is a really good place to have a market. So I am excited to try it again. Like I said, everyone was really like tight-knit and close, and the market coordinator actually messaged me after, and she was like, hey, hope like you had a good day. I just want to let you know that, you know, some of the vendors said that their sales were down because of the World Cup. And I was like, yeah, I totally get it. But a lot of the vendors also came up to me, and whenever I told them it was my first time, they were saying, it's not usually like this, it's usually a lot better. And the fact that people keep going back weekend after weekend makes me feel like it is worth it to give it another shot. So I am gonna give it another go. So the total amount of money that I made in sales was $162. And then if you subtract the $95 application fee, I made a total of $67, but parking was $20, and we also paid like $30 something for lunch, whatever I said earlier, $38 or something. So I actually didn't make any money. But you know what, it's okay. It was a good experience. I absolutely love the price of the market. It's less than $100, which is great. Even though you do have to pay for parking. I feel like you probably could find free parking somewhere around there, but there was a special vendor lot that we were supposed to park in, so that's where we parked, and we did have to pay. So I guess it's more like $115 to do the market if you include that. But like I said, I am gonna give it a go. I didn't let it like hurt my spirits or anything. I knew it was just, you know, a bad day for a market. It was a bad day to be a market. On the bright side though, I am not going to have to market prep like a crazy person for the next market. I literally am just going to bring everything I have. If I make any new stuff, great, but I'm not gonna worry about making any smaller items because literally not a single keychain was sold. I sold 1 claw machine item, I sold 1 card mirror charm, I sold 2 mystery boxes, and I have plenty of those left. So we're good to go. So yeah, usually I would be really upset if like the market just was awful on its own, like it didn't promote it or anything, but you know, these people have a social media following, and like I said, the fact that the vendors keep coming back means that, you know, they do it for a reason. They do it because they make money. So I'm glad that I got to talk to some of them and, you know, realize that it's not always like that. So overall, I'd say it was a good experience. It was just so hot. Hopefully August is a little better to us, but we will just have to see. I'm sorry I didn't make a lot of money. I know these videos are probably more fun when it's like an awesome market and I make a lot of money and I'm like really happy, but you know, it is what it is, and I'm gonna try it again. So we'll just have to see what happens. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much for being part of my little Crochet with Kelsey community. It does really mean a lot to see that people watch my YouTube videos. Like whenever I started this, I didn't really think anyone was going to be interested in my crochet journey or like what I'm doing. So seeing that people actually are enjoying these videos, liking these videos, commenting on these videos, it truly does mean a lot. So if you're not already, please be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.